So I do a book show in Much, where talk to different,
do what?
A book show.
Oh.
Talk to different people about fave books that you've read and how it's inspired you, or what you learned from it, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have a book that that comes back to you every once in a while?
Yeah. Well, I've read Perfume by Patrick Susskind about 10 times in my life, and I can't stop reading it. It's like something that's just stationary in my pocket all the time. It just doesn't leave me, and every time I'm bored, like I'm on an airplane or something, I read it over and over again. Because I'm a hypochondriac, and it just affects me. It makes me want to cut my nose off.
What's the book about?
It's about this perfume apprentice in France at the turn of the century, and he is just disgusted basically with all humans, and he just can't get away from humans. So he goes on this trek, this walk of death, where he goes into the rural areas where there's woods all over the place in the small villages, and he only travels by night, and he just every time he smells human, like a fire from far off away, he'll just get really disgusted and hide, and he just tries to stay away from people. I can relate to that.
Do you ever use what you read in any of your songs?
As a matter of fact, I use that very story in Scentless Apprentice. Yeah. So that's really one of the first times that I've ever used an actual story, as a book, as an example of a song. I've always tried to stay away from that, but now that I'm running out of ideas more and more, I tend to do that.
First of all, could you guys tell? I thought it was really cool the story of why you chose your name, sort of the real meaning of Nirvana and how you tied it into punk. Can you kind of tell that story?
You tell us the story. Is there a story?
Where did you hear the story?
Oh, geez, something I read.
The bio is just
something
big
about
joke.
what the actual word Nirvana means.
When I did the interview for that bio, it was 9 o'clock in the morning and I was hungover, so I don't know what I said. I don't even remember.
Well, the way it went that I read it was Nirvana means freedom from pain and
suffering in the external world. That's just the Webster's dictionary. I mean, that's just right out of the Webster's dictionary.
And you said, as far as you could tell, that's what punk means to you. So it was the perfect name. That's not why you chose the name then.
Now I remember. Yeah, that's why. Sure.
I don't want to harp on the name.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
It'll be a household word in no time anyway.
Okay, well then, if there was a second definition.
Does anyone have a light?
Yeah. If
Kurt.
Yes.
You said in earlier sort of interviews about the tour that you sort of pissed off with having to do your own roadie and driving, and I mean, has MCA and the deal given you a bit more money? Are you enjoying the luxury of it?
The old saying that you can't buy happiness. You think that's true?
Well, yeah, you can't buy happiness. I mean, that made me happy for a little while. But, I mean, I was just probably almost just as happy with, fine. I don't know, I look back on going to secondhand stores and stuff like that and finding a little treasure like that. And that actually meant more to me because it was more of a stab in the dark in a way, you know, because you didn't know if you're going to be able to afford it, and you don't know what you're really looking for, and when you find it, it's more special to you rather than, you know, having $1,000 and going into a store like that and just buying the whole store, you know. It's not as, you know, it's not as special.
Because you've achieved so much success, like so quickly, so surprisingly, you've had a baby, you're married. What excites you now?
My baby, my marriage. I don't know. I still like playing too. I mean, Chris and Dave and I haven't changed at all. I mean, believe it or not, we get along just as well as we ever did. You know, we're just as the same passive aggressive people as we used to be. You know, we never fight. You know, we're pissed off at each other. We just hold it under our breath and have respect for one another in that way. You know, it's easier to work that way. You know, because we have a mission.
Opening up for puppet shows.
Puppet show and Nirvana.
Because like you've been booked in all these quite sort of, you know, quite small places. I know in Amsterdam you're playing. Okay.
But I'd rather play smaller places than huge Enormo Dome.
It doesn't
stadiums.
matter as long as I feel that the show's good, that we had fun, and that we.
Are you tired?
I have jet lag.
We have jet lag.
Yeah,
jet lag.
Excuse.